Hello everybody, good evening or good afternoon wherever you're at. Najumu here and welcome back to more Tavern Talk. So, slight recap on what happened last time. We managed to establish a bunch of new quests for a whole lot of people. And we've also managed to get a little bit of a backstory on our resident edgy thief, known as Blade. Sometimes he's known as Malachite, sometimes he's known as John. We still don't know what his true name is, but regardless, it's a pretty tragic backstory, and it kind of makes sense how he managed to find kinship with Melly, who is also an orphan like he is. So yeah, we are basically doing well in terms of progression overall, and we're seeing some of these quests that are interjecting with each other. I have a good feeling that all of the events that happen, like, you know, with the ghosts and the missing animals and the star shower, will all be linked together eventually in the end, but who knows? Who knows what might happen? So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see and keep on reading, to say the least. Also, let's look at the chat and see who is here. Good morning, Rayquaza. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hope you are doing well as per usual. Alrighty, let's get into this. We are in... Ooh. Oh, we're in the interlude. I see. Act 2, Starlight Sonata, interlude. Let's see what's going on here. What are we getting? Who's it? Eh? Hold up. Hold up. Aren't those two from Monster Prom? What are you doing here? Wait, hold up. I didn't know there was a Monster Prom collab in this. Huh. All right, all right. That's actually pretty cool. Who said we can't road trip by all by ourselves? Liam did, I think. I think that was perhaps a rhetorical question. Oh, dude, didn't see you there. What's up? The sky, last time I checked. It better be. It'd be very confusing otherwise. Very true. Is this your crib? It is indeed. Welcome to the Wayfarer's Inn. With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking? Polygeist and the goodest of boys, Scott Howell. And together we are the Prank Masters. With a Z. Woo! Yeah, I think this might be a collaboration with the third game. I think it was Monster Road Trip, was it called? Let me double check. Let me... It's the subtitle for Monster Prom 3. Because these two, who originally showed up in the first game, are the lead characters in the third game. Pleasure to meet you. I'm your humble innkeeper. You know, on the mention of Monster Prom, I probably should tell the usual group to give it a try sometime. Maybe I'll toss the idea for them, because I've been meaning to actually play at least one of the Monster Prom games with friends on stream. Because I really liked the first game a lot. It was like different but super fun. And like the outcomes are pretty hilarious. Like, I know the dialogue sometimes can be a little bit crass, but it's the fun kind of crass. So, pleasure to meet you. I'm your humble innkeeper. Awesome. What drinks do you serve? Oof, yeah. We're in desperate need of some booze. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I don't serve booze. What? Why? The age rating system is quite harsh on such things. And I've got to keep the place open somehow. I feel you. We all got some burdens to carry. What else have you got? Magical beverages that can enhance your abilities. It's even rumored they might influence your fate. Whoa, that's so cool, dude. Like an influencer, but for fate. A fate influencer. That would go so hard a moment, Graham. What is a moment, Graham? Or it goes pretty hard here as well. Yeah, it goes pretty hard here as well. Bet. Innkeep, please influence our fate before I get bored. I'm feeling incredibly depleted from this weird AF trip. Sounds like you're in dire need of some stamina. Though I think you can use something a bit stronger than usual. Dope! Give me your strongest potion. Technically, never mind. Yeah, man, this was actually kind of a surprise. I thought, like, a collab like this would show up, like, as an extra chapter, but it's right in the middle of the story. Which is, I don't mind it. I don't mind it, honestly. It could be a nice little break from the usual crew of people who show up. I'm probably not going to have any big impact on the story, but it's a neat cameo. Okay, so let's have something that gives extra stamina. So I guess we'll go with Sailor's Courage. We put a little too much. Let's see, what can we use? We can use this. And we can go a little bit. Oh. Oh. Hold up. Okay, and there we go. Okay, Polly, drink up. A funky drink for a funky gal. Let's see. Whoa, this is good. Very good. So good I don't even miss the booze. Well, maybe a little bit. I'll take that as a compliment. Try this, Scott. Woo! That tickles. Just like pickle juice. So, Scott Howell, would you like a drink as well? Nah. Well, you could tell us where we are and what cool things we could check around here. You're in Zenith, in the Republic of Fisoa. Are you lost? No? At least not as long as we're having a blast. You do seem slightly out of this world, though. You don't say, Innkeep. Ooh. Maybe you're onto something, potion seller. You know, we were road tripping. It's supposed to be the trip of our lives. When something weird happened. We were about to take the next turn to the crossroads and then whoosh! A portal opened up. I couldn't hit the brakes in time. Yeah, we drove straight through and ended up on a gravel road. Everything seemed different and dated. So dated. Dated? Duh. I've seen and done plenty of weird stuff. This is a different kind of weird. So weird. No cars, only carriages and stuff. Cars? Yes. What are cars? Those things that go vroom. I'm afraid I've got no clue on what you're talking about. I don't think cars exist here, Scott. Now, it makes sense that my phone has no signal either. What makes sense? We landed in the past. Whoa! Does that mean we time traveled? Yeah! That's so cool! I doubt time travel is possible. Sounds more like you participated in inter-universal travel. Which is rare, but happens occasionally. Wait. So what you're saying is we are super special and lucky to have participated in such an event? Likely. Dope! This is a sign, Scott. Universe sent us here to wreak havoc. Oh? Prank masters will strike again. Soon, after a nap. Can we take a nap, Polly? Good idea. Hey, Funky Magic Mystery Pal, you better get to writing that tour guide. Now we'll see what I can do. Good. Do you have a room for us? Of course. But a room upstairs. Just ignore the scratching sounds and leaking water by the iron door. Don't worry, we've seen worse than that. We've got plenty of experience with sea monsters. Always hyped to meet more. See you in a bit, Inkeep. Come on, Scott. Let's hit the sheets. Maybe I should add some do not enter signs. Oh. Glad to see you, Baya. Thank you for having me. Is your friend's dispute still ailing you? Still so lonely. Only me. I came to ask, have you sent someone to help my friends? I did, actually. You did? Yes, I sent Fable and Blade to solve the dispute. Oh. Then let's hope they'll be friends again soon, so we can have tea parties again. And stop being lonely. At least people are visiting my spa. That's good. Thank you for handing out my coupons. Did I hear spa? Yes. Doesn't that sound like something, Scott? Woo! I love spa things. Now, are you our tour guide, sweet bog creature? Tour. Do you want to visit my spa? These two are Polygeist and Scott Howell. They're currently looking for entertainment and a way back home. But entertainment first, obviously. It's getting incredibly boring here. No offense, Funky Magic Mystery Pal. None taken. Where is your home, in a portal or something. Yeah, we came through a portal, which in itself is pretty rad. But we've had the medieval tavern experience and all. It was good while it lasted, but it's time to move on. On to my spot. Something like that. Which makes me think, Baya, do you think you could help them find a way back home? Of course. You could do that? But first, you have to visit my spa. Nothing easier than that. I'm in need of a facial anyways. The air here is so dry. My bog is especially moisturizing. Wait! Does that mean we get to go skinny dipping in some hot springs? Oh yes, absolutely. My hot springs are the best. Cool. So a pit stop at your spot and then a road trip back home? You joining us for the ride, sweet bog creature? Please say yes. We'll see. First show you the portal. Spot. If you bring them to the portal, you could take a ride with them through it. Might help you with your loneliness. You think so? Yes. No one's lonely on a ride with the prank masters. I'll think about it. Which portal do you want to take? The one through Avalon, full of dreams and forests? Or the one through the Twilight Chasm, place full of dread and weird fishies? Ooh, the Twilight Chasm sounds spooky. I love spooky. I mean, because, you know, she's a ghost. I love dreams. They're so weird. Like that one dream I had where I was my own dad. Where should I lead them, innkeeper? A trip to the nightmare realm sure sounds fun. The portal to Avalon is just around the corner. You know, I like Scott because he's kind of like a super himbo, right? He is the face of being a himbo, 100%. So we're gonna go for that one. Through the lush forests of the Ashen Grove. The way we came? Not gonna lie, that's lame. But it's a quick way home. Full of dreams, Polly. Imagine how many pranks we could pull on sleeping people. That's not true. Amazing. Then it's settled. Can't wait to show you my mud masks. Can't wait to show you the world, sweet bog creature. My name is Smiley Face. Let's hit the road, Baya. Enjoy your trip and safe travels. Goodbye, potion seller. See ya. Smiley Face. Goodbye, innkeeper. Well, at least Baya's got some new friends. Oh, that's pretty much a dub for her, I guess. I'm glad Baya could find a little comfort in those peculiar visitors, at least. I'm excited to hear the story she'll tell when she gets back. And I guess that is the interlude. Oh, it's a pretty nice interlude. Alright. Let's go into the next day. And chapter 13. Come hell or high water. Good evening, innkeeper. Good evening, Grace. Could I ask you for a drink? Anytime. What can I do you for? I'm pretty spent. Do you have something that will keep my mind awake for a little longer? I should have something that could do just that. One moment. Alrighty. Let us over something that is... Yeah, Silent Owl sounds pretty good. Yeah, I guess we'll go with Silent Owl. Draw the recipe. Let's go here. There we go. And where is the... Let's see, which one can we use? Probably this. Oh. Yeah, probably not. What about, drink this. Drink this, boyo. There we go. Oh, oops. Could probably put a less of that. There we go. And now we can... And then we can add a little bit of this. Not enough? Okay, maybe we can try... Oh. Yeah, this should be the right one. Yep, a drink for the mind and the soul. Enjoy. Thank you. This is just what I needed. Are you still so tired? I thought you were done with your thesis. I am. It also means I need to figure out what to do next. The possibilities are endless, not boundless, so considerations are a complicated endeavor. Have you considered a break? I have. Say, innkeeper, if you had forever, what would you do with it? Never thought about that before. I like being an innkeeper, so I can just keep doing this forever. It's relaxing and safe. I get to meet the most wonderful people and wizards all day. Forever is really a long time. Is there anything else you would like to do? Ooh, these are all interesting. I've always tried to save when it comes to the choices here, but it's, because there are too many interesting choices with each, sequence of questions or choices that I have. Love to go on a road trip. I've always wanted to learn how to play the harp. No, I am content with my... You know what? Baya is the one doing the road trip here, so I'll say I've always wanted to learn how to play the harp. Oh, why haven't you? No time, no muse, no talent. Or maybe I'm just waiting for the right moment. When will that moment come? Not sure. I just don't feel like the heart belongs to me right now. Let me know when it does. I'd love a concert. Will do. What would you like to do with immortality? You will learn everything there is to learn. Every language, instrument, skill, and facet of mortal existence. I would travel the plains with my brother and learn even more. Have an infinite amount of tea parties. Well, here's the thing. You are the only one who is going to have immortality. And from what media's taught us about immortality is, it's not all that cracked up to be. No. Because if you're immortal, and then everyone else isn't, then you're just going to be living through generations and eras where some friends or family will just pass by and you'll still be alive. And sometimes, even if you do all these things, when you don't have the fear of your life ending, when it comes to dangerous situations, because you can go through anything, like get burned by fire, get chopped by a sword, nothing would happen because you're immortal. So I don't know. Media has told us time and time again, immortality is something might think, oh, it's cool, get to live forever. You get to live forever, but it's not all that great. But to be fair, Grace seems to be a teen to a young adult, so yeah, she probably doesn't know the repercussions of being immortal. I'd come to those. When we were little, X would always make all the stuffed animals dance around our little tea table. We didn't have money for music boxes. We just made up songs for them to dance to. He sang them to me. If I had the time, I would love to write down all these songs and invent dances for them. You should make time for that. It's your time after all. And besides, while you don't have forever, you do have quite a lot. An elven lifespan is nothing to scoff at, even if you only get half. And if you got the human side of the lifespan, oh, that's less time. It is, but I'll make the most of it. What do you do next then? I'm not sure yet. I was thinking of going to Ashvidal, the capital of the Magocracy. I heard the libraries there are 60 stories tall. Rivers flow through the sky in an exuberant display of mana. Sounds like paradise for someone like you. Yes, but Hex really wants to stay here. He likes Visoa, Zenith, the Ashen Grove. I think he likes how quiet it is, if you would believe it. I don't think he'd like the bustle of it all. Wait, hold up. Isn't Hex usually the guy who is kind of a cheeky troll who likes to mess with people? So wouldn't he be the type of person who likes bustling areas or countries full of life instead of it being something quiet or serene? Honestly, it's a bit of a surprise. Though, to be fair, there is a lot more than what it seems for most of these characters in this VN. I don't think he'd like the bustle of it all. You could just go without him. There's a Magocracken embassy in Zoford. Their teleportation is expensive, but reliable. I don't think he wants to go back to Zoford either, but I won't make him. He could teleport himself then. He really shouldn't. It's quite a long distance, and he's always been awful at teleportation. You could take a ship. I appreciate the effort, but I don't think a ship would help make the distance acceptable to him. He's always going to follow me, no matter where I go. I think he doesn't want to miss out on any adventures or celebrations, or funerals. You could just tell him you want to go alone, but then he'd be alone too. Just talk to him, Grace. I don't want to spend our time together fighting. I just don't want him to spend it mourning me either. You should tell him that. He'll have enough time to mourn you when you're gone. Unlike life, that never ends. I suppose you're right. I'd like to leave something he can remember me by. Maybe I'll build my own wizard tower. Please do. I love those. Did you hear about the one on Morlia near Dalwell? The one with the infamous Muggle-Crescent fugitive? The very same. It seems that its wizard had disappeared without a trace, leaving his tower vacant. I always wanted to stop by for tea. I don't want to be rude and intrusive, so I haven't. Nobody left behind. I'm sure it's a collection of fascinations and impossibilities. Could you just teleport in to check? You can't exactly teleport in and out of well-protected places all willy-nilly. Might end up trapped or on a whole other plane. You might. Maybe that's what happened to the wizard? Maybe. No one seems to know what happened to him or who he even was. And no one seems interested in finding out either. Isn't that sad? A little. I don't want to disappear like that. You won't. I'll tell your story for as long as I'm around. How long is that? As long as this world will bear me. You are very easy to bear. Thank you, Grace. Would you like to stay a little while? Please, I find your inn truly inspiring. I'll be here if you need a rubber duck. I'm counting on it. Oh, hey, Oh, they're back. Hiya, innkeeper. Hiya, you two. A drink, please. Or two, actually. Sure thing. Actually, what name are we on right now? Well, Blade is still fine. Come on, that was a whole week ago. I was busy. Want to come up with a new one now then? Can I come up with one? Sure. How about Kumo? I feel you look like a Kumo. Kumo. The funny thing is, like, Kumo in Japanese means spider, so yeah, I could see the spider motif with his gloves at the very least. It looks like it's made out of webbing, made out of spider webbing. It fits. Ah, Kumo can also be cloud. Huh. That's true. Yeah, you know what? He's as stealthy as a spider. And just as cute. They changed his name in the game too. I'll take your word for it. Our drinks. Can we get them now? Of course. What would you like? Something sweet. Bubbly, maybe. If you can find something like that. You know. Sure. I'll see if I can find the words you're looking for. Okay. So, he wants something bubbly. Let's see. What could be bubbly? I guess Thousand Winds? I guess maybe Thousand Winds can be bubbly. Nah, that doesn't work. Hold up, maybe we can try something. Maybe this one. There we go. Okay, Kumo. Here's your drink. Liquid charisma for those in need. Maybe you should try it then. Do you want to send it back? No, it's good. Glad to hear that. Fable, what can I get you? Maybe something that will make me feel like I could lift 1,000 clouds? Like I've got the strength of a dragon, or something like that. Carolyn always says it's pretty tasty. I'll see. A Carolyn special then. Maybe we could use Southern Brawler. I think this should be correct. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Right. Regular's favorite for another regular. Thank you. It's delicious as usual. That's what I like to hear. She has new hair. I didn't even notice that her hair, their hairstyle changed. I like the new hair, by the way. Oh, you do? Thank you. It looks really nice, right? Kumo braided it for me. He helped me calm down after we encountered the Mary Morgan. But I should probably start at the beginning, right? I'd appreciate that. Alright, so, what happened at the beginning? The ship Oblivious. Right. I was a bit worried about the journey we were embarking on. After all, the seas around Boreas are famously hard to traverse. With all the wild magic around it and all. Just before we left Zenith, we ran into Una in the midst of an arm wrestling match against Iniko. We took the opportunity to ask her for advice. Thought maybe she had traveled there before. You could have also asked me. She was closer. Right. Did she have any good advice? She did. With her help, we were able to avoid all the dangerous maelstorms, sea stacks, and iceberg elementals. It must have made for a very relaxing journey. It did. It was very inspiring too. We were able to see the dancing, colorful auroras in the night sky as we drew closer. They were starless, but still breathtakingly gorgeous. I even started on a new song. It wasn't ready to be shared yet, though. I just wanted a sneak peek. Well, you should have snuck better. A new song? Can I hear it? It's not done yet. Thanks to Una, we made it to the Boreas a lot faster than we had planned. We also docked far away from the typical explorer's route. It was completely abandoned by everything but nature, as if no one but us had been there before. Kind of exciting. Very adventurous for sure. We headed inland. We were quickly swallowed by the fog that engulfs almost the entire island. It moved in strange patterns, creating unidentifiable forms within the mist that hungered for life. Thickets rustled as we walked by, whether moved by wind or by creatures. I couldn't tell. The trees were shaped strangely, with shimmering portals forming in their empty husks. Our own quiet breaths were often interrupted by shrill, shrieking sounds that seemed to have come from right above us. It was almost idyllic. Or scary. It was mostly scary. I wouldn't have minded strolling around until we ran into something roaming on the island, but it was a little cold. So, I found a local to ask for directions. While wandering around, we came across a clearing surrounded by tall trees. Rather, one tree. All of them were connected, intertwined with one another. Though one of their twisted connections, a waterfall with no discernible origin, was flowing into a small pond, and in its midst rested a nymph, a real nymph. Doing taxes? She was weaving flower crowns for the fish. She was beautiful, with long black hair and skin that glistened in the sunlight being reflected off the waterfall. Her eyes were like sparkling gemstones, and her smile was full of kindness. She was all right, but also the only person around. So Fable asked her for directions? No. Fable asked her about everything but directions. I asked her for directions. She was very helpful, even gave us a gift. A gift? That's sweet. She gave us earplugs against the Banshee's song, so our bones wouldn't shatter. Very helpful. Did you offer to write her a jingle in return? I did. She said if we were to survive the encounter with the Banshee, I could come back and she'd think of what we need a jingle for. She was thinking about setting up a dragonfly exhibition, so maybe for that. Who would she even advertise to? Frogs? And toads? The banshee was our first priority, so we stealthily made our way to the lonesome lagoon with earplugs in our ears. We mostly walked and talked about our favorite dragonflies. Finally, as we finally approached the lonesome lagoon, the thick mist enveloped us. It suddenly became so cold we could see our own ragged breaths. Then we heard it, a song with all the sorrow of the world compressed into a single note. It sounded really nice. There was so much emotion in that song. Sadness, longing, yearning, anger. We wanted to be polite and waited till she was done singing, but she kept going, like tears that wouldn't stop. So I decided to be a little rude, stepped forward, and said hello. Yeah, so rude. Yeah, like, Fable is so toxic that whenever they say, like, hello, it means that they have, like, super crazy, evil, intents. Yeah. They said, hello, Banshee. I really like your song. I confused the Banshee so much that she stopped. She smiled, bearing a row of deadly sharp teeth. When we said no, she invited us to sing along. Did you? Of course not. It was kind of fun. It was. And I thought what better time to bring up the Mary Morgan but now. So I lead with, I bet you don't do this with your girlfriend all the time, right? She suddenly looked at me with hatred and anger and then just started screaming. I was very thankful for the earplugs at the moment. I think without them, my bones might have melted. That was our cue to leave, so I pulled Fable back into the thicket of the Borean forest. Obviously, we couldn't just leave it at that failure, so we looked around for a peace offering. We found some spiky pink fruits with a pattern of a little ghost tortoises on them. We thought she might like them. She liked them enough to stop screaming at us as we sat down at the side of the lagoon to talk. It's beautiful, by the way. In the middle is a giant portal to the Twilight Chasm. It colors the water this deep, dark blue with swirling clouds of darkness within. There were bones floating in the lagoon, too. I almost brought one for your tavern. Why didn't you? I thought you wouldn't like it. I love bones. I'll keep that in mind for the future. The Banshee actually fished out some bones to fidget with. It stopped her from screaming every time she brought up the Mary Morgan. Or Marmor, as she calls her. Turns out the Mary Morgan has been ignoring all her calls. Ever since the Banshee was crowned Gaia's scariest monster by Screech Magazine, she told us it carved a hole in their relationship, that it caused a lot of jealousy. She was disappointed that Mary Morgan cared about more about some stupid popularity contest than her. We asked her if she wanted to talk about it with the Mary Morgan herself, but she said she didn't need to apologize for being scary. She was very thankful she got to talk about it, though. She was holding it all in because she didn't want to burden Baya with all the drama. She even offered for us to spend the night at her nearby cave, which was really nice of her. Did you ever end up taking a nap at her lair? We thought about it, but it was filled to the brim with the riches of the dead, which was far too alluring to allow us to fall to the call of sleep. You found loot? You have my attention. What did you find? Gold, bones, skulls, jewels of all sizes. The loot, it was broken, but I picked it up anyway. There was also a delicate silver mirror that had hearts carved all over it. Kumo recognized it as magical from its arcane markings. Melina showed them to me in some book the other day. When we were snooping around in the wizard's library in Zophor, it was a mirror of far speech. Lets you speak to anyone on this plane, given that you've seen them before. So you called Melly? No. We called the Mari Morgan. Ah, that makes more sense. How did it go? Well, I had to be the one to make the call, since Kumo had never met her. When her face appeared, all I could do was stare in horror as she gazed back to me. I felt like I was in. I felt like I was back in the Ashen Grove, leading adventurers to their doom, and I just froze. So I took the mirror out of her hands. Her first words were threats of what she would do to us if we had dared to harm the Banshee. course we did. We hadn't. That briefly calmed her down. Until I asked her why she wasn't there. She was so worried about the Banshee's well-being. Avoiding the question, she instead talked to us about the state of the lagoon. She complained that it must be incredibly loud with all the tourists and whatnot. So, I assured her that there was no tutorials, at least none. I assured her there were no tourists, at least none that were alive. So, she asked what I was doing in the lair then. Honestly, I replied that the Banshee had offered us a place to stay in her cave. Quickly realized that I had picked the wrong thing to say. Her eyes started bleeding black ichor, and she began cursing us. Okay. The mirror cracked under her gaze and started bleeding back black water. It was terrifying. And then we were just supposed to sleep there, as if she couldn't crawl out of the mirror any second. After that happened, I thought we shouldn't be recommended. We shouldn't discuss our further plans at that cave. So I pulled Fable outside and we went for a walk. The nymph had mentioned this enchanted flower field where she collects flowers for the fish. So we went there. I thought it might be a good spot. It was a good spot. Even though I couldn't I'm shaking for a while. Though the flowers really helped. And as did not belong being alone. Was that when Kumo braided your hair? Was that when Kumo braided your hair? It was, yes. My hair kept falling in my face and it was overwhelming me. So he sat down and braided it away while I worked on rebuilding the lute. He said that some distraction would help. Talking also really helped, even if I asked a lot of stupid questions. They weren't stupid, just curious. Did you have a favorite one? They asked me where I learned to braid my hair. That actually brought us further on our quest. How so? Well, I learned it from my mother. It's the only thing I feel I have left of her. It was her way of apologizing. She was never very good with words. It made me think sometimes people aren't very direct with what they mean. I've heard of that, yes. Like the Marie Morgan. She didn't seem angry about the banshee outdoing her and she didn't even mention it once. She only got upset when she thought we had to hurt the banshee. Or when she thought we were tourists. Or when we said we're staying in that cave. Like she was jealous of something entirely different. From some issue of Screech Magazine. We talked about it. We talked it through and decided we had to get the two of them to talk face to face. Obviously, it would be difficult because of the distance, but I had taken the mirror with me when we left. Thought it might be useful. Ever the thief? Indeed. I used it to call Baya. I asked her to tell the Mighty Morgan to come to Boreas. Fable mentioned she can teleport via plants. However, that works. She can. You should try it out. It's nauseating. I don't think we'll pass. While I wanted to talk to the banshee, Kumo picked up the Mighty Morgan. She and I really connected on eyeliner techniques. We arrived at the lagoon and were immediately ready to claw at each other's throats. Not in a fun way. But somehow, we managed to convince them to sit down. We tried to get them to talk about their feelings, but they just kept talking past and over and away from each other. Arguing about an issue that didn't exist. So I had this crazy idea. I took my new lute and asked them if they wanted to write a song together. They declined and insisted their voices would clash, but I thought at the very least it would stop them from arguing. Kumo helped me convince them by summoning tiny rain clouds, pitter-pattering in a gentle melodic rhythm to inspire them to give it a try. Yeah, always remember to hydrate, folks. We asked them to put all their emotions about the whole situation into a song. In the end, they harmonized together perfectly, like their voices were made for each other and the gentle hum of my lute. It was beautiful and a little bone-shattering, but very romantic. Most importantly, the song finally got to them to understand each other. Like Kumo has suspected, the Mighty Morgan was scared, not jealous, now that the Banshee was so popular. She feared the Banshee would become really busy with tourists visiting all the time. She assumed she wouldn't have time for her anymore. But the Banshee assured her she doesn't care about any of the tourists. Only about the Mighty Morgan and Baya, of course. We told them to talk to her too. I mentioned how much she had been missing them. They agreed to meet for a tea party in the Ashen Grove, so Baya doesn't have to travel too far. Did you invite them to your barbecue? No. After the outpouring of emotions, they wanted some time for themselves. Quest was done. It had only taken us 2 days, which was really efficient. Unfortunately, we had told the ship to pick us up in 3 days, so we were trapped on the island. So you swam back? What? No. What is wrong with you? The usual. We started brainstorming about what we could do while we waited. So I asked about the cheesecake recipe. But then I realized there wasn't anywhere to bake it. They don't have any taverns on Boreas. It was a stupid idea. It wasn't. Somewhere on the island had to be something to bake a cheesecake in. Did you find that something? We did, but it turned out into its own small quest. First, we had to find the right place for our little adventure. We met these lovely gnomes living in their little mushroom houses. They offered to let us their ovens. They were too small, but they introduced us to the local toadhill giant. Its kitchen was enormous, but it was easier to work in than one that was too small. Then the gnomes, the nymph, and the giant helped us gather ingredients from all across the land. So we were able to make enough cheesecake for everybody. I burned mine a bit. When we made the second batch for the ship's crew, they were already starting to turn out better. Kumo's a really good teacher. And you're a really good student. Thank you. The cake really lifted the crew's spirit on the journey back. We agreed to teach them the recipe once we hit land. Afterwards, they invited us to the captain's birthday party. Ooh, party? They even introduced us to a traveling obelisk, who sang us a song of the ancients. It showed us as a shortcut, though, the Rhyolitis mountain range where we met some flaming songbirds. And now you're here. And now we're here. Well, I'm glad you came back. Of course we did. I promised a good story. And you delivered tenfold. Where are you two going next? I should probably talk to Melina. She was pretty mad when I left. I guess I should apologize while I still can. Good idea. Do you want me to come with you? No, I think I need to do this alone. Rather, with her. And I have to check in on Rufus too. Maybe Hex taught her some fun magic tricks in the meantime. You left her with Hex? And with Grace. Don't worry, nothing was set on fire. I should go. But before I go, do you maybe want to do something together later today or tomorrow? Like a thing? Oh, like hanging out together? We could play charades with the werewolves. Yeah, let's pick this one. No. I was thinking more like spending time together. Like on a walk? Like on a date? Oh! Okay, that sounds really fun. Cool. I'll pick you up. Or I'll see you around or whatever. I'll see you. I'm looking forward to it. Me too. He asked me out on a date. Oh. Making moves, eh, Blade? Slash Malachite, slash John, slash Kumo. He did. That's... Oh, what? What do I do now? Do you think Archie has books on dating? Or should I ask the Hydra for advice? It probably knows a thing about dating, right? Archie is still on his quest. Also, I'm right here. Hmm. Just go. See where it takes you. Or no one said you actually have to go. Hmm. Where he takes you. Hopefully somewhere nice. I do feel safe with him. So maybe I should try trusting this more. Mostly, I think you should just be honest with him. He seems to like you for who you are, so there's no need to hide. That's the scary thing. Why does he feel that way? Because you are very lovely. But sometimes I just feel a little lovelier hiding, you know? To me, it sounded like perhaps a bit too late for that. Sorry for listening in. You two were just very sweet. It's okay. I also thought it was very sweet. He was very sweet. But now that he's gone, I have time to think again. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be that type of sweet anymore. Maybe he was just being nice? He asked you on a date because he was just being nice? Well, maybe he felt bad for me or something. Faith, you gotta stop with the paranoia. Relax. You need to relax. The sheer panic they always have when it comes to situations like this it's pretty funny. Innkeeper dear, I think Fable might be in need of another drink. Maybe something to untangle her thoughts? Something for a quick escape from all this overthinking? That sounds good. I'll see what I can do. Let's see. Something that boosts this, huh? Let's see. Which one are we gonna go for here? Oh, maybe a Swift Strike. Yeah. Alrighty, let's drop them drinks. I think this should be right. Maybe I can use one of these. So Alright, this should be good. Does this help? Very much so. Thank you. I feel now that I can uncurl the yarn ball that is my brain. What do you think I should do? What do you want to do? I want to go on our date, and I want to get to know him better. Maybe even get him to know me better too. Do you think he would like that? I think so, yes. It seems like you don't need our answers. You have yours already. Sometimes I just feel like I need permission to listen to my heart. Did you know you can give that permission to yourself? I forget that every time, but I know you're right. I think I know what to do now. Somewhat. But I'll figure the rest out. Thank you for listening to me. I think sometimes that's all I really need when I'm scared. There's nothing wrong with being scared, as long as you don't run from the things that make you happy. You're right. It took me a while to realize that. Running is so easy, you know? You always know where to go. Away. But staying, you have to actually look at yourself. Figure out what your part is in everything. That can be a lot. But when I was on the journey back from Boreas, dancing with Kumo to the music of the navigator's fiddle, thinking about how I would have never gotten to that point if I hadn't put myself out there, I realized that life is so much more than a constant game of hide and seek from the things that truly mean something. And I decided to stop running from life, even if I'm scared. I want to do my best to face my problems. Even though it's terrifying, I know that I'm not alone. Is this still about Kumo? No, he was never a problem. He was one of the reasons I'm not alone. It's like you. Good friends by my side, I can do anything. And I can't wait to see what you will do. Might not be as impressive as you hope, but it will be me. And I'm excited about that. Me too. I'm really proud of you, Fable. And thank you for everything, especially the great advice. That was really great advice. Maybe you should take some of it too, Grace. Maybe you should. But we all conquer life at our own pace. My personal next Goliath is going to be reapplying my lip gloss. Maybe some blush. I do feel a little pale. Can I borrow a mirror for a bit, innkeeper? Of course. There are some free rooms and mirrors upstairs, right next to the acorn chimes. Just ignore the doors with the do not enter signs. You shouldn't have said that. Now I want to check. Please don't. I won't. I'm polite. Or am I? Let's hope she won't find all the nightmare creatures you have locked up there. Let's. Have you ever visited the Twilight Chasm? Not for long enough to capture any creatures. I see. Why the awkward silence? What are you thinking about, innkeeper? Oh, you know, innkeeper things. I don't know, I mean, since I'm not an innkeeper at all. Right. That song you mentioned, the one you started writing on the ship. I know it's not done yet, but how about a little sneak peek to see if it would make for a good jingle? I don't think it's jingle material, but I don't mind sharing it with you. Just keep in mind that it's a work in progress. Of course. There's a calling in on the wind beneath the talk of the keep. I've heard the tales, set the sails. Now it's time for me to leave. That sounds like a great opener. So you like it? It's wonderful. I can't wait to hear more. Me too. But it's still a little rougher on the edges. I feel like it's missing something. Maybe the next adventure. Maybe. Will you let me know when it's done? Of course. Can't wait to show you the finished version. Thank you, Fable. I'm proud of you. For maybe finally finishing a song? Or not running? Oh, thank you. Me too. Innkeeper, do you ever think about taking your own advice? All the time, yes. Why don't you? I don't know. It's hard, I know. But I promise I believe in you as much as you believe in me. Believe in the me who believes in you. So, the thing with the innkeeper is, like, it's actually pretty common, right? A lot of people usually say, you need to go to rest, and they do oblige. They actually do take a break. But there are some people who are pretty much workaholics. Like, they need to be active. They need to keep their mind active. They need to keep, like, their workflow moving consistently, like the gears in a clock. So I would probably put the innkeeper in the second category. Like, he loves doing his job. He wouldn't trade anything for the world when it comes to his job. But the thing is, there will come a time that you do need to get rest. You do need to take good care of your health, because all this, like, non-stop work, 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, can be exhilarating in the mind. It can be exhilarating in the mind and in the body. So yeah, always remember, just take good care of yourselves, yeah? Just take good care of yourselves. I know we'll both be okay. I would like that. Me too. Well, I've talked a lot today. I'll give you some space. Maybe it's time to stop running. Should I? Is it time to read that letter? Yes. Oh, that was easy. I've been wanting to go for a while. Let's hope for no regrets. Let's read this. Let me drink some water first. My dearest friend, Long has it been since we've talked last. Long has it been since everything has been seared away by the cold flames of death. Wish I could still remember our last conversation, but it's waning memory. I can only imagine how you enjoyed running away, wishing to forget whatever it was between us. Maybe you did for a brief moment for these 30 years. If you did, I'm writing this letter to kindly remind you of the good old times. To celebrate our reunion, I invite you to the spectacle of the century, the last day of the astral moon, welcoming the first light of the dying. For the realm of Tivat is just a grasp away. Are there any spirits you'd like to remember? Are you afraid of what they might tell you? Worry not. We'll be right here. Watch the sky closely on the 35th of Cassiopeia. See you soon, an old friend. That was... I guess you've always been a fan of symbolism. But you didn't even leave an address. Very responsible. Oh. Oh, baby, he's here. He's here, and yeah, I should get the sound ready. One moment. I should always keep the sound ready, handy and dandy, in order to use. Pardon? No time. Duck! Now! What's going on? Are you okay? Do you need help? Healing? Something's coming. Something's big. Your next show? What? No! There's no time. Duck! Is the ground... Oh. Oh, shoot. What's happening? Oh my god, that is so loud. The whole area is flooded. Is everyone all right? I think so. Yes. Phew. That was a close call. Could have been really dangerous. What just happened? Why is there water outside the tavern? I'd also like to know the answer to that question. I got no clue. I was just outside by the woods, practicing my newest song, when the ground beneath my feet began to rumble. Not even a minute passed, and it rumbled again. Then, a wall of water came rushing toward me. I didn't even dare to wait. Ran immediately, looking for shelter. No way I was gonna let my hay gum get wet. These strings are made of real Chabian silk, and the body's ethereal bamboo. It's a rarity. That's the first thing going through your mind with a giant wave rushing right at you? Of course, this instrument is just as valuable as my hands, and just as versatile. Oh, Grace is back. Is everyone alright? Grace! Dragons, you're alright. I was worried something bad had happened to you. Oh, don't worry. When the walls started crumbling, I hid under a table. Then I watched the water rush by the window. It was like a tsunami, but tsunamis are very rare, not impossible so far into the mainland. Right. It's so strange. Everything seems to be submerged out there. I wonder what would cause such a cataclysm. It's worrying, to say the least. And it's definitely dangerous to go outside. Even the tavern is leaking. Don't worry. It'll withstand. Are you sure? I'm sure. I've gone through worse than this. You? It's gotten through worse than this. Wouldn't have thought it could withstand the sort of thing. But even more so, glad it can. Seems to be a simple yet very sturdy tavern after all. Just like you, innkeeper. Are you flirting with the innkeeper? Ah, me? No. Also, that's beside the point. Is it? I mean, unless. I like to work my body. Helps on a lot of aspects. Can we get back to the point, please? Yeah, sure. The point. Right. Back to the point. Did you exactly see what happened? Not really. I was listening to the whistle of the wind in the treetops, jotting down notes for my next song. When suddenly a horde of silver-crested deer rushed past me. They could trample over me. I jumped on the rock I was sitting on and watched them gallop downhill. Then I saw water break through the canopies, snapping trees in half like they were shashlik skewers. I wasted no second. I turned on my heel, knowing I'd be done for if I waited just a moment longer. Then I was here and told you to duck. It sounds horrible. Are you alright? Are you hurt? I'm fine, thanks. And anyways, with whom do I have the pleasure? I'm Grace. Nice to meet you, Grace. Oh my, you're Voyage, aren't you? The silver-tongued virtuoso. Yes, that would be me. My apologies, I didn't mean to push any boundaries. But I saw you perform at Dropstone's Institute's campus at one time. And I must say, you pulled off all my heartstrings with your beautiful performance. And I must say, you pulled off all my heartstrings with your beautiful performance. Oh. That? Yes. I was awestruck by what your music could do. It was like magic in its very own way. Music can be very soothing in moments of distress. Were you distressed back then? A little bit. I don't remember exactly why anymore, but I remember the emotion. Not more distressed than I am right now. Hope Hex is safe and well. Yeah, I wonder if this sudden tsunami that happened is related to the star shower that happened earlier in the game. Because, as you can see it right there, almost the entire inn is submerged in water. Because when you see that, look at the water levels. The water levels are mad high. They're mad high. And almost the worst type of like having excess rain. And when you try to just walk, for example, to your car, for example, good luck for your car surviving a super strong rainstorm. But yeah, it's pretty hard to deal with in this context. I'm sure he is. Shoot! Did you see that creature swim by? What? Where? It looked like a red-winged eel. Oh, haven't seen one of those in ages. Where is its natural habitat? Actually, the Twilight Chasm. Why is it here? Something isn't right. I'm afraid you might be correct. I'm also afraid, very much so, I don't think it's safe to go outside. Of course not. You should stay all for the night. Could that be possible? Of course. After the tavern will withstand this company, and a bit of company wouldn't hurt. I agree. Thank you, innkeeper. Say, with you with the loot, what's your name? Fable. My name is Fable. Do you play? The lute, I mean? Sometimes. I'm still practicing and not all that good with it yet. How about we play together? A song or two to lift our spirits and wait out until the catastrophe. And wait out the catastrophe going on outside. It's very untuned. It goes out of tune really quickly. But I guess that's a loot thing. I gotcha. Show it to me. I'll help you. Then we'll jam until a new dawn rises. The achievement is Sleep with the Fishes. Rising tides. Yeah, look at that. The whole place is freaking flooded. That's terrifying. Oh, Hex made it. Grace? Is Grace here? Good mythical morning to you too, Hex. This is funny, innkeeper. Tell me, is she here? Please tell me she's here. She is. I'll let her know you are too. Thank you. By the dragons, I was worried sick. So sick. She'll be happy to know you're safe and sound too. The flood was enormous. If she had gotten caught up in it. Oh, no. I don't want to even begin to imagine. Then don't. I want a drink to calm your nerves. Yes. A drink sounds great. Something that will untangle my thoughts and help me focus. I'll see what I can do. Alright, let's see. So more in the brain power of things. Alright, let's do this. Hmm. No, not this one. Hmm. Hmm. Why aren't we getting it here? Hmm. Let me see. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. A bit here. Oh, yes. This should be the one. Maybe this will help clear your mind. It does, at least for a little bit. Thank you, innkeeper. Oh, there's Grace. Hex, good to see you safe and well. You too. Where have you been? Are you alright? Did you get hurt? I'm fine. The innkeeper and yesterday's superstars took good care of me. Just as you took good care of us. The least we could have done was be there for each other. How have you been, brother dear? Did you get hurt? No. I was worried about you. The whole night, locked in that damn house. All I could think about was how the flood might have... Why did you tell me you were going to the tavern? I looked everywhere for you. Oh, sorry. Didn't know I needed your permission to go outside. That's not what I'm trying to say. Then what are you trying to say? That you could have gotten hurt. I wouldn't have known. I don't hit a tsunami to hit Gaia every day. That wasn't in the foreseeable future, Hexy. Uncontrollable things happen, and when they do, we do our best to overcome them. Also, I can protect myself quite well. Still, how was I supposed to know that you were safe? I'm an adult, you know. Try trusting my capabilities. Furthermore, SAR was a very useful last semester. SAR? Protective sigils and other remedies. Ah. Also, the tavern itself was well protected by my own brand of sigils. That's at least something. Yes, I'm very thankful the innkeeper and his tavern kept me safe. I didn't mean to worry you. I didn't plan on being gone for so long. But then the flood happened. Okay, sure. How have you been holding up? Is the house alright? Apart from some minor damage and some leakage in the roof, I suppose it's fine. I wasn't even aware of the approaching flood until the house's foundation started trembling. I was busy in my workshop, harvesting the essence of Dimension 567 for my research. Hope you didn't rip a hole in the fiber of magic again. I didn't, and even if I did, you couldn't have stopped me. You weren't there after all. Right. But I can scold you now. You won't want to when you find out I actually managed to harvest something. You did? That's amazing. What a huge breakthrough. That would mean I created a teeny tiny rift to the astral realm and got my hands on some stardust. Well, sort of. How? I got an astral shard when the stars fell. Ah, I see. There's still the issue of never knowing exactly what might come through when you open these kind of rifts. Could be anything or anyone. Like creatures? For example. That wouldn't be so good. Yeah, it wouldn't. Because when your sister disappears again, you won't know if she got eaten by a creature or is just out for a stroll. Hex, cut it out. What? We get it, alright? I went away. You're worried. We get it. But I'm my own person and I can do what I like. I'm getting tired of this. Well, me too. Then stop. I don't want to fight. Then don't. Sorry. It's fine. We shouldn't spend our time fighting when there are so many more interesting things going on. It's fine. Oh yeah, I read that. How about a wee bit of distraction? Oh, we could go outside and see if we can take samples of the floodwater. Exactly. Who knows? Maybe it holds spectacular and rare magical properties. That sounds lit. Maybe it'll help me finish my long-term research project. Possibly. Though to access the primordial vortex, you'd need primordial seawater, I know. But who knows what we'll find? Don't forget to fill me in on your research. Theopractically, I'd tell you anything, but only theopractically. Wouldn't have expected anything else. Thank you, Innkeeper, for hosting me the night and all. See you soon. Ooh, there he is. Good morning, you two. Did you sleep well? As well as I could with the sweet song of stormy waves pattering against our windows. So, very well and with inspiring dreams. Glad to hear that. Your impromptu concert really helped me sleep. Because it was so boring? No, because it calmed my nerves. All of your nerves, I think. Not that I have any. You don't have nerves? Is that a phantasm thing? No. I meant those metaphorical nerves. Oh, you get those too? No, of course not. I'm void. Well, yeah, sometimes. Mostly when I have to perform. Isn't that embarrassing? Not really. That also make me nervous. Oh, though. I have to say, last night, performing with you for Grace and the Innkeeper, it was kind of relaxing. I could just lose myself with the performance without having to worry about what anyone would think of me. Not that I ever do, but it was nice. We should make more music together sometime. Should we actually? Nah, if we actually told him like Fable got started on a new song, it wouldn't be fair, right? It was supposed to be a secret between the Innkeeper and Fable. So outing her like that wouldn't be very nice. I think Fable needs a little more practice first. Yeah. I've only had a few days with this lute. I should get to know it better first. Who cares? I'm not hiring you for a gig. I just want to jam with you. So let me hear what you got sometime soon, alright? keep you away from the innkeeper's nagging. Alright, I'm in. Nice. I'm looking forward to our grand collaboration. And charming you with it, innkeeper. Alright. You're supposed to say you're also looking forward to it. I don't think you're supposed to say that part out loud. You know what? This is a generic answer. This is for the funnies. Let's say that. Oh, well, forget I said anything. I was just kidding. Enough chit chat. I should check up on the village. Maybe someone else needs a good song to cheer them up. I'm sure Baya would love one. I think Baya was probably cheered up by a good flood. Speaking of her, maybe you can hand out some of those spa coupons for me? Sure thing. Her spa rocks. I should start by enlightening Grace. She's still here? No, she just left. Together with Hex. Something about primordial water. Get a load of this guy. Yeah, he's flamboyant, to say the least. He has quite the ego, but not in a pretentious way. Also, hey, Crit, what's up? Welcome. No. Yeah, no, she just left. Together with Hex. Something about primordial water. Those wizards. I'll try to catch up to them. See you soon. Get more practice in, Fable. Will do. Can I get one of those coupons? Sure you can. Just make sure you tell Baya I sent you. He's giving mad jazz musician vibes. Yeah. He does seem like a jazz musician, but he has that kind of popish look to him. Yeah, especially when it comes to his design. But I can see him play jazz, yeah. What a strange morning. Or exciting morning. Both, I think. Would you like a morning drink? Yes. Something that will help me with writing my song, please. Jazz dudes have that kind of air in terms of ego. Oh. Well, I know about jazz musicians, but not about their history or how their personalities are. But I could see that. Okay, so let's go for 1,000 wins. That's always the simple one. I listen to a lot of music. I mean, that's pretty important. Like, there's a lot of amazing variety when it comes to music. A drink with 0 primordial water? Maybe. It does taste a little primordial and very delicious. Perfect. You know, last night when I couldn't sleep, I was watching the fish swimming by the windows. Their scales kept reflecting in the water, making them shift and shimmer like they almost weren't there. I was mesmerized by them. It was like a dream that kept pulling me toward the waves. was beautiful and haunting. Do you think it looks like that every day somewhere? That beautiful? That haunting? I think any place we can imagine exists somewhere, if only in our heads. I'd like to see all those places. I don't think they're all safe to see. Oh, here's Kaylin. And, now named, Kumo. The newly named Kumo. Babel. The dragons. They're here. Are you alright? I am. The innkeep kept me safe. It's good to see you both are well, too. Couldn't you have let us know where you... Couldn't you have let us know you were breathing? Couldn't find you anywhere. Koboke. I'm sorry. I just woke up. Are you guys worried about me? Maybe. The legend. Of course we were. Don't even know if you can swim. I can. Can you? Of course. No. Oh, we should teach you sometime. Sure. Thank you for worrying about me, but I actually had a pretty nice night. Boy and I gave Grace and the innkeeper a small concert while we were all stuck inside. Oh, sad that we missed that. I could track down Void to give you guys an encore. That'd be nice. I'm sorry I didn't get around to picking you up. It's okay. I bet the roads were a bit busy. Makes sense that the dog woman can't swim. She looks more like a wolf lady to me. Right? I'm guessing with the fur color and the ears. Yeah, she looks more wolf than dog to me. Yeah. It was a little tough getting out. Rufus loved it, though. Think he made some new friends. Seems like this catastrophe had some pleasant side effects. What happened, anyway? Did a whale eat the moon this time? No idea what that's supposed to mean, but no. Or maybe. No idea how it happened. They say the primordial sea flooded the Twilight Chasm, and it all spilled through its portals into Fisoa, leaving us with this mess. That's new. At least the other continents probably got through it without much trouble. For once, they can be less jealous of our portals. I do hope everyone is okay. Everyone we could check on is. Okay for us. The water's drained enough to rescue everyone round here. Though I heard that underwater hasn't emerged yet. Happy to see you all emerged. Mostly. What does that mean? Yes. I was wondering if Melly is here. She wasn't home when I checked on her. No, she didn't stop by yesterday, nor today. Did you see her before that? Did she say where'd she be going? I'm afraid she hasn't been in since you returned from Zolford. How loser punk hasn't seen her either. Took a second to ask him when he almost broke down Kumo's door looking for Grace. Do we know if she can swim? I'm sure she can. I'm sure she's just taking shelter elsewhere. You taught her how to hide well, after all. Maybe she's putting that to good use. This is why you gotta have a second door on the second floor. That's true. That's very true. When I returned yesterday, I found Rufus eating out of a strange apparatus that dispenses food and water every couple hours. Like someone really smart set it up for him in their absence? Yes. He was also gorging himself on some food, but Melly was nowhere to be found. Oh, that's worrying. Did she leave a note? No. I'm sure she's okay. I'd be worried. I'm sure she's okay. Maybe ask Jade for help. She's very good at finding things. I shall investigate that avenue. Right now. Fable, would you be okay with moving our time? Time? Not an appointment or something? More like a date. Can't wait for that story. I'll tell you later. But, yes. Yes, we should move it. This isn't the kind of dancing in the rain I was hoping for. Me neither. Another time, then? Well, I wouldn't say it's happening yet, but the seeds have been planted, and we just need to find a time where both Fable and Kumo / John / Malachite / Blade is going to be dating her. We'll have to wait and see. Bartenders helping people with dating life. Yeah, that's what we're doing. It's pretty much the same as it was in Coffee Talk and in Valhalla, which this game is definitely inspired from. Me too. Hope she didn't try to investigate the fish. They'd eat her alive. Sounds like they're more hopeful. The girl's savvy. I mean, look at that contraption she left behind. Ain't no fish got a chance against her. Being hopeful isn't really my thing. Then make it your thing. I'll let you know when I find her. Such a man of few words. A man of words. He's just worried. Uh-huh. Speaking of worries and words, Care, it's good to see you finally back. How was the escorting? I hope you didn't get too wet. It happened. How did it happen? I used to be a bartender like you. Then I took an elf to the heart. That's a good one. I took an elf to the heart. Yeah, but here's the thing though. There is no, like, the Innkeep and Fable are not going to, like, hook up. But having Blade and Fable complement each other, that's something I could see, because I see like Blade being reliable, him being like understanding in dealing with difficult situations, especially dangerous situations, because he's a thief. But he didn't get enough love in his life. Like, his parents were gone at a young age and was unwillingly killed by the rich, right? And then he went into the guild, and then he was trained in order to be a thief. And he basically didn't get any love when it comes to family and when it comes to romance. But now it seems like he has this a sibling relationship with Melly and potentially a romantic partner with Fable. So yeah, it almost feels like Blade feels like the main character of the game for a while, but no, it's still the innkeeper. This is the innkeeper's story and how he runs the tavern. Well, actually, this can wait a bit, right? I don't want to pressure, so I say yes. Thanks for understanding. I'll be back later, once I can think more clearly. Still got some people I'd like to check on. We root for them, indeed. Fable, I'm just like to check in with your family too. Yes, I would love to make sure everyone's all right. Maybe Melly is with the Amarmanthine Hydra. She really wanted to ask for tea recommendations. Counting on you to return with a good story. Don't get too excited. I'll see if I can drag Ray and Fancy Pants along as well. Think they could use a drink. Speaking of which, got one on the road. Sure thing. Something strong to get you through all that socializing. You got it. Okay. So it should be... Let's see, which one are we gonna go for? There's Sailor's Courage or Southern Brawler. Yeah, let's go for Southern Brawler. Alright, so let's get this. Alright, and then... Yeah, this ain't it. It's a little too much. I need a game like this, but you are making different soups. Oh, a soup-related game. Make different kinds of soup? Well, that'd be a little different. That'd be a little different and pretty fun. Here you go. Here, strongest thing I could brew up for you. Thanks. Makes these drinks a little. Oh, that's sweet. Don't dwell on it. Anyway, Fable, let's go. Be right there. I'm sure everybody will be okay, Innkeeper, so don't you worry about it. Make sure to keep a hot chocolate warm for Melly. I'm sure she'd love one of those. I'll give it my best. Oh, hold on. You're gonna give Melly chocolate? Even if she is a cat girl, maybe the whole cats can't eat, like, chocolate, or else it will, like, end their lives. Is a thing in this world. I know you well. Don't swim out too far. We'll see. Waters are dangerous these days. Just what are you up to? Time to make sure I have enough ingredients for a hot chocolate around, I guess. Good to see you opening, Keep. And a good evening to you too, huh? Ah, spare me the babbling. I thought you seemed to be unharmed. I am, thanks to some protective spells I put on the inn a while back. It's better than any insurance. What about you? Are you unharmed? I'm as good as you. I've been missing an arm, but that doesn't mean I forgot how to swim. It's easier than walking, actually. And breathing in water instead of air was just unexpectedly nice. His skills aren't just for decorative purposes. Felt a little bit like home, you know? But the water tasted different than of the astral sea. More primordial, I might even say. Yeah, I figured. But you don't seem to be very worried about it. Whatever happens is none of my business now. I'm retired. Water also doesn't bother me. And water doesn't bother me. Shouldn't bother you too much either, am I right? Since you're close to... I knew you wouldn't forget. I might be old, but I'm not senile. Me neither. So you wouldn't call the primordial sea your home then? I inhabited a few planes already. My past doesn't define the word home for me anymore. You're a soup maker working at a kitchen on the docks. What a wonderful fake game. Well, here's the thing. This is less VN and more something like cook, serve, delicious. Like you have to make foods according to the recipe that you have, or the recipe that the games tell you, and you have to rush it to customers and get as much money as you can. But you're right. Primordial water doesn't do any harm to me. Even if I wanted to drown in it, I wouldn't be able to. But honestly, I was more worried about my patrons at the inn itself. I hope everyone is safe and well. I wouldn't worry too much about your regulars. Adventurers are tough folk, and you and your drinks toughen them up even further. I have faith that you're right. But your tavern, well, let's say it has definitely seen better days. Nah, that's kind of an understatement. It looks like... Ouch. I've been working the whole day to clean up as much as I can. No, but that's the joke, that instead of a bartender, you're serving soup. And it's like super unfitting for the gameplay loop. Yeah, I could see it happen. I could see it happen. Like, I think indie games take a lot more risk for testing new ideas. Like, even like since its inception. Like, sometimes do not underestimate games with budget pricing. If there's a will, there is a way. My condolences. Say, have you ever talked to the Wizard of Morlia? No. Sadly, I haven't. No. Sadly, I haven't had the pleasure. Oh, you should get it if you get the chance. He's always loved all kinds of spells and enchantments. Alright. Most of the kind involving trickery, like puzzles and traps. But I'm sure he also knows a protective spell or two. I mean, he's been protecting his wizard tower for quite some time now. I'll keep that in mind if I get to meet him. But I suppose you're not here just to talk. How about a drink? You definitely have your way with your customer service. Have a drink that'll wake up my old muscles up so I can help you tidy up on your tavern afterwards. Can't quite remember having asked for help. What's that? My old ears suddenly can't understand what you're saying. How unfortunate. Maybe a strong drink would help. Alright, coming right up. Temporary amnesia. Could go for another Southern Brawler. Let's do that. I'm gonna drop some of this here. Let's see. Okay. There we go. There you go. A drink. Powerful like the astral sea. Oh, wonderful. I consumed enough primordial water to last me weeks. And? Does it taste exactly like home? But the hint of elemental magic revived some old memories. I gotta say, you definitely know your craft. Thank you. Could I maybe convince you to just relax and let me do my work? You'd like that, wouldn't you? Forget it. Let's clean this messy tavern. If you insist. Before I forget, all that water swept some animal remains into my pockets. Don't really know where they came from. I don't feel any kind of astral energy coming from them. So I assume they're either Gallon or primordial. Before I stabbed myself while cleaning, I wanted to check if you had any uses for them. Stab? Yeah. They're surprisingly sharp. Now I'm curious. Let me see. You're so easy. Thank you, Una. They might not be primordial, but I think I know just what to do with them. Gonna spice up some drinks? Maybe. Can't wait to try them then. And now, let's spice up this old rusty tavern. Welcome back to my tavern, brave adventurers. Good to see you all unharmed and doing well. At least we didn't drown. By the way, who's that granny on your porch? Looks like she's collecting driftwood. Don't mind her. She's an old friend of mine. Don't mind her. She's an old friend of mine with some weird habits. She wanted to help tidy up my tavern after the flood. That's kind of nice, actually. I suppose so. I couldn't convince her to let me do it alone. The flood hit you as well? You bet. Had to hold on Rhea for a quick second in there, or else she would have been swept away like a twig. Ah, oh dear Weast. I just passed Thermos when it happened. Luckily, there were two carriages nearby, wedged between sturdy trees and a large boulder. We managed to pull ourselves out of the raging waters and into these carriages. Wait, the female dwarf has a beard? Yeah, that's what I'm here for, yep. She has facial hair. Thank the dragons. It could have gone south real quick. And your tavern looks a wee bit wet as well. It is. I've been working on non-stop to clean it up. That's not good. Working non-stop? Comes with being self-employed, I get. No, I mean the flood. Never heard of a flood that massive. Spread all the way from Themis to Zenith. You're right. We certainly aren't that close to the sea. Thermos, maybe, but not Gurren. It's all very recent. We'll have to wait until we know the true extent of it. But what about your mission? Did you complete it before the flood started? I guess that's a no. Come to think of it, Archie, you've been awfully quiet today. That's very unlike the noble hero I know. Have a break, will you? I had some pretty rough nights. Oh, did something go wrong? The drink you prepared for us with the golden feathers. I remember. I mean, it did what it's supposed to do. But it wasn't enough. Don't know if another person could have changed our fate, though. What happened? I guess I'm telling their story then. Let's begin. We actually would have been well prepared if this was a normal escorting mission, that is. All started just as a regular quest. Met our client in his temporary abode, which looked like it was worth money more than Scare and I will ever make in our lives. Combined. Correct. Anyways, our client's name was Theodore. Theodore Hugo Frederick Sinclair III, to be exact. He told us politely to not just call him by his full name, so we agreed on Theodore. He's a noble son of some wealthy diplomat, hence the long name. I figured. And you had to get him to Dyria because of some financial conflicts between them and the mainland. Correct. At first everything went surprisingly well. Since the magical bridge got destroyed, we had to get to Dyria by ship. Because of the dispute, no ships from the mainland are allowed to dock in Namasa. So I had to take the long way. From the port of Windmore, in the Windy Meadows to Twinborough, and then to Amsa by foot. All with a young nobleman that rarely strays from home. That kid had some quirks and mannerisms neither of us were familiar with. But luckily Archie was here to help us out. I tend to be very little wary around rich people. We actually got along quite well. Especially little Archie here was hanging on every word. We didn't take the main road to avoid much unwanted attention. Moving quickly through the Dyrian tundra, we only encountered a few obstacles, like tree trunks. Ray and I kept the path clear, while Archie entertained our clients. It was quite useful after all, even though it was his first quest. He definitely knew how to tell stories and keep us entertained. Theodore loved every tale Archie told. Yeah, seems like you're a natural-born storyteller. You also have a surprising amount of knowledge about plants and stuff in that orange head of yours. I am glad I could be of help. Theo rarely went outside, so I assisted him with my position. Oh, that's a very helpful skill. Everything went planned till the sun started setting. I think my ears picked it up first. They were like a bunch of low humming sounds, far away, but definitely unusual. Didn't hear anything, but I'd always trust the fluffy ears of a Vukakin over me own. I asked the two boys if those types of sounds were common around there, but they both denied it. That's where I started to get this weird feeling in my guts. Every experienced adventurer develops that sooner or later. It's like a sixth sense to keep him out of trouble. Oh, I've heard about that. Never experienced it, though. I knew something was wrong. And if we didn't get out of there, our situation would only get worse. At first, I told Rhea, didn't want to alarm the other two boys. Your client should never be afraid. It's bad customer service. Agreed. So we tried to figure out on what to do. By then I could also faintly hear the deep sounds. But if I could hear them, Archie and Theodore could as well. And they also heard us talking. That's unfortunate. Excuse me. We agreed on positioning the two boys between us, even though Archie proclaimed he could fight as well. A simple but effective lineup. Me at the back of the line, Kara in the front, so she got the best ears. Theodore was calm. He said something along the lines of course they tried to start an assault. That's why I hired you, remember? He's not wrong. I just would have expected more, you know? A regular kind of assassin. Whatever that might be. If you let me continue, you'd get it. Sorry, my bad. To make things worse, it got real dark real quick. We couldn't hear the guttural grunting all around us. She said, fucking crap. Where are they? Where are they coming from? But, well, first I could only see one, then two, and suddenly, everywhere. Zombies! We were surrounded by zombies! I had to think fast. There weren't any gaps in their formation. I knew we had to fight. Thanks to those enchanted features in her drink, I was able to quickly overpower two zombies by smashing their heads together. You're strong. I like strong women. I pushed both boys so that they get moving. I knew if we wanted to get out of there, there would be one. Get there in one piece. We need to stay together. Kara was blocking attacks left and right, slicing through rotten skin and brittle bones with her greatsword. She was a sight to behold. Her sword lended me its power to fight us through, but I would have needed more time to figure out a plan. There were just so many of them. I knew we had to get back to the main roads. The terrain is so deep in the forest. The terrain so deep in the forest was very uneven, made running away from a horde of the undead even more difficult. How did many of them get there? At least it was apparent why all those animals had disappeared on the road. They got eaten by the undead. And we'd be next if we didn't get the out of there. So we ran. But turns out a nobleman's clothes aren't made for running. They're made for nothing but except looking obnoxious. Not even that comfortable. I was more prepared than Theo, but even some of my seams ripped. I could hear Rhea behind us telling us to hurry up unless we wanted to die. So I wrapped my hand around Theo's velvet-coated wrist and just didn't let go. There's no way I would let anyone die on my first mission. But then, right before we got into the main road,
he tripped. I suppose it was bound to happen. Rhea had somehow outrun us and was already stumbling on the main road ahead. I tried to pull Theo up on his feet, but his pants must have got caught in some thorns, and he just couldn't get up. I tried to get him free. I really tried, but my hands were so sweaty and shaky. I saw the zombies, and I saw their rotting faces as they closer and I was too far ahead to realize what was going on. When I finally noticed, it was too late. I was too far ahead to realize what was going on. When I finally noticed, it was too late. I knew getting on the road was our main priority. But when I got there and the two boys were missing, I knew something must have gone wrong. Oh God, did he die? No, nobody died. At least so far. We don't know if, like, Archie's friend is 100% dead or not. But everyone else is fine. I turned around and right as I saw Archie and Theodore on the ground. A bunch of zombies getting real close to them. I warded off the first two, maybe three, but there were just so many of them. Then Theo screamed, the most horrifying scream filled with pain and agony. I've read a book about that sort of scream before, but I don't think it would sound so... Heartbreaking? Yes. That's when Rhea and Carolyn suddenly appeared next to us again. They pushed out the zombies back and helped Theo get up. Well, as much as he could with what was left of his left leg. I had to come up with a plan. There were too many zombies for us to fight, and running away would have been difficult. There were too many zombies for us to fight, and running away would have been difficult since Theodore was hurt. There were too many zombies for us to fight. Running away would have been difficult since Theodore was hurt. But your drink was driving me forward. Kind of like a drinkable Lucky Charm. I had already tricked the Chimera into giving me its saliva. So I should have been able to handle a few undead and a hurt client with ease. You tricked a Chimera? Or did? You really are full of wonders. Also, since fighting also was not a possibility this time, I thought maybe I could outsmart the unranked. Theo was hurt, and he also wasn't looking too good. And it seemed to have drawn to the smell of his fresh blood. That's how you drink, and that's to your drink. Now, thanks to your drink, I was still quite hasty. I knew. Oh, sorry. Let me fix this. I knew I could outrun any dead. So on a whim, I turned back to the other three. Ray was trying to fight back dozens of monsters while Archie supported Theodore. I grabbed a piece of the bloodied cloth that had been ripped off of Theodore's leg. I don't know if they listened or if it was just the smell that drew them to me, but I yelled, "I'm here. Come and get y'all a fresh piece of meat." Archie gone crazy, I tell ye. It was a smart move. Definitely had their attention. Archie was so full of it, I told Rhea to just follow his path to Arkansas and treat Theodore's wounds as quickly as possible. And that's what we did. I don't argue with women that are taller and faster than me. Our quick thinking probably saved our... Good call, both of you. I lead those brain-dead monsters in the opposite direction. Turns out, I could easily outrun them. But I wanted to get rid of them once and for all, or else we wouldn't have been safe for long. And as soon as I spotted a cliff between the two trees, with nothing but the vast sea further on, I knew what to do. I knew how to override my instincts, so it was kind of dangerous. But I yelled one more time, "Come and get me if you can!" Then I threw pieces of cloth off the cliff. My instincts kicked in, wanting to play fetch. Luckily, my will was stronger than the monsters. One after the other, they tried to catch the blood-drenched fabric and jumped, falling to their hopefully final death. Can't believe that actually worked. Me neither, but otherwise I wouldn't be standing here. I'm glad. Seems like the undead are kind of like animal packs, at least for the most part. Few of them didn't even take the bait. But nothing my great squad could fix. I followed Ray and the boys' tracks until we met up again. I could already see the light of a massa in the distance. But what if we hadn't been fast enough? With every step, Theo's grasping my shoulder and was getting weaker and weaker. I didn't even dare to look at his face while I talked to him to keep him awake. Even when his answers started getting sparse and quiet. But you made it, right? Right? Oh no. No. He didn't make it. Yep. Yeah, Theo is dead. You're joking, right? That's disrespectful. I'd never joke about someone's death. Especially not his. I'm so sorry, Archie. I didn't know the mission would be so dangerous. It's not your fault, Keith. It's none of our faults either. Maybe I should have prepared a different drink for you. It's alright. We did our best. Things don't always go as planned. Yeah, here's the problem. The other drink that I was trying to do in order to avoid the more offensive result was kind of not working at the moment. So we picked this one and, well, that's the outcome, unfortunately. I guess life isn't as magically perfect as the numerous tales I've read would suggest. Bad things can happen to anyone, even those with the purest of hearts. Some may deserve it, but most don't. I just wish it wouldn't have been him. It's such a selfish thought. I can't get it out of my head. That's fine. It's just not fair. Why him? I apologize. I didn't mean to raise my voice like that. That's alright, kid. We know the pain you feel. You know, some deaths are inevitable. Illness, old age, whatever it may be. Those are easier to stomach. even if they hurt. It's true. And then there's the deaths which are completely unexpected. Those don't feel fair to us. They make us think, only I did this, only I said that, so forth. You mustn't dwell on those feelings. It's okay to mourn, but you can't change the past. The only thing you can change is the future. Live the life your friend would have wanted for you. Make him proud. I suppose you're right. What did you do then? Did you still go to Amasa? We did, yes. He must have died before we arrived. Someone from the night watch recognized him. We were immediately surrounded by healers. It was already too late. We may bring the bodies from the dead, but not souls. February explained the situation and how I got rid of the zombies. He offered for us to stay in the night. We needed some rest before making our way back the next morning. I also sent a letter to Theo's family. I wanted to, after all. I've known them since I was a child, and I was with him in his last moments. Someone was going to deliver the bad news. It needed to be me. Not sure if I could have acted so calm and collected. I really wasn't. Also, I don't know if this is perhaps too macabre, but will you hold on to something for me? Of course. What is it? It's a quill that I used to write the letter to Theo's parents. I lost my supplies somewhere on the way to Diria, so I had to buy a new quill. First I thought it was a nice memento, but the wound is still too fresh. I'll hold on to it, as long as you needed me to use it. I'll hold on to it as long as you need me. Thank you, innkeeper. Just, what's going to happen to the dispute between Diria and the mainland now? Now that an ambassador has died on Dirian soil, it's just such a big mess. And we didn't fix anything. We just made things worse. Anyway, I'm just so terribly tired. Please excuse me. Good night, everyone. You want to sleep here tonight? Sometimes a little company can do wonders. I would understand if you wanted to be alone tonight. Yeah, gotta understand. I think that sounds like a good idea. I really could use some time alone with my thoughts. But I appreciate the offer, Carolyn. Thank you for your kindness. Good night, everyone. I hope he'll be alright. Let the kid grieve. Guess he's asking if either of you would like a drink. Would be a little insensitive at this point. Don't. Got it. Instead, Care, let's talk about your extraordinary fighting skills. Gotta say, I was really impressed with how you decimated those zombies. Takes a good beast slayer to know one. Nah, I'm more of the general type, you know. But I can always appreciate two strong hands. And such a well-crafted greatsword on top of that. Happy to see you appreciate solid craftsmanship. It was a gift from my Baba. She told me the great dragons themselves gifted it to her. I don't know if that's true. Have you ever heard the great axe of the most powerful weapon ever? Forced by the origins of this world themselves? You bet. You think it really exists? I mean, my Baba loved to tell stories. But if her sword was made by the dragons, maybe Ur's great axe is also more than just a myth. Dwarves have their own origin in the subterranean caverns, you know, on the plain of Ur. I grew in a labyrinth of caves, surrounded by gems and ores, legends and tales. I mean, I haven't seen it with me own 2 eyes yet, but I'm convinced the legendary weapons exists. But it's so large, I wouldn't even recognize it as an axe. I have heard keeps it in the resting place all times. Yeah, though so far no one has found that yet. And hopefully no one ever has to. What do you mean? You know the tale. Someone was to wake her up. The apocalypse would begin. That's just an old tale, right? Something you tell the kids that don't want to eat their food. You know, eat up or will awaken. Questionable parenting techniques, if you ask me. I had to hear that a few times when I was a wee bairn. Those tales ever made me want to craft a legendary weapon myself. Have you ever? Have you ever made something like that? Not yet, but I will soon. I'll make the greatest weapon ever forged and smash this year's Orhard blacksmithing competition to bits. I'll outcraft my ex-husband with ease. That ex-husband? Yeah, we used to work together. Now he claims I wouldn't stand a chance without him. Anyways, Innkeep, care. It's getting quite late, and it's been an exhausting week. Absolutely agreed. Let's get some rest. And then look for another quest elsewhere to afford me crafting materials. Good night, ye two. Good night, Care. Night, Innkeep. And that's the dawn of another day. And what are we getting here? Riptide. Alright, so gonna go and save here. And yeah, I think we're gonna call it here for tonight. We've been at it for almost 3 hours, 3 hours and a half-ish, almost there. And yeah, we managed to learn that, yeah, our decisions, our drinks are really super important. If we manage to get the diplomacy powered drink, then what happened to Theo wouldn't actually happen. Yeah. Well, I guess this does encourage multiple playthroughs for this. Because especially, like, it may affect the ending of the game as well. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, thank you all for coming and watching tonight, either live or via the archives. Tomorrow, we'll be trying out Metal Slug Tactics. And that is another Metal Slug spinoff. Instead of it being a run and gun game, it's a tactical turn-based RPG. Huh. I mean, it's not the first time like Metal Slug went into different genres, but this one requires a little bit of brain power and a little bit of
understanding about how the flow of combat works in both the player and the enemy. So it's going to be pretty much my first time playing a game like this, a game style like this. But you know me, I love me some Metal Slug, and I'm definitely excited to see how that goes. I saw the sprite work on this and it's amazing. And the music is done by T. Lopez, who is, I said several times, one of the prime composers in the video game industry. So I'm excited to see what tunes he made for the game, and I'm pretty sure they'll fit right in with the classic Metal Slug soundtracks. Anyway, guys, hope you all have a great night, evening, or afternoon, and I'll see you guys real soon, okay? All right. Bye-bye.